Hi, my name is Jill Patterson Phillips, and I'm here with doing Community Talk today. Along with me, I have my friend and actress, Carmen Ball. And we're here to share a little bit about a show and an evening that we're doing called Love, Loss, and What I Wore. And it's premiering next week. It's November 12th through the 14th. And Carmen, we're both looking forward to doing this next week. But tell me a little bit about the role you play and how you fit into Love, Loss, and What I Wore.
I'm so excited about this show because it says so many things. It's kind of an odd title till you try to explain it to somebody. And it's wonderful little short vignettes with, I guess there are 5 of us. Right. And we all talk about different important clothing and different things that happened to us at different points in our lives that were seminal points that happened or career changes or things like that. And it's been really interesting when I've talked to people about this show, about come and see it. It's really cool and there's some good actresses. But the women don't have any problem understanding this. They go, well, yeah, this is the outfit that I wore when I went to my junior prom and it was a really cool deal, or other things. Yeah. And guys just look at you and go, okay, my wife will like that, yeah. You have to have a two-sided approach on when you're talking to people about coming.
That's true. That's true. But it also does deal with some universal truths, I would say. I mean, as far as dealing with a family member, a close friend that has cancer, losing a parent, those kind of things that have kind of universal truth to them that sadly a lot of us can relate to, whether you're male or female, right? I would say.
And there are a little bit of everything. Some of it is hysterically funny. There's a whole little section on buying your first bra. Oh my God! And then there's followed by a section on death, and it's like life. It's all different pieces of it, and who were the people that were strong around you, and who helped lift you up.
Right, absolutely. And I don't know about you, Carmen, but I was always a big fan of Nora Ephron. And that's part of what turned me on to this play, is so familiar and thrilled with some of her works as far as when she wrote Sleepless in Seattle, and You've Got Mail, a lot of her screenplays, and then of course her books are hilarious.
Right. When you brought up this play and that it's like so wonderful to read. And you're right, universal truths about everything. Some of them sad, some of them sweet, some of them just hysterically funny.
Yeah, I have not gotten tired of watching the show, and we've done it, dozens of times now, and I always find something new to chuckle at, or there's something, that touches your heart in a different way. Yeah. So I know and I'm hopeful that audiences will feel that way about it too.
Oh, very much. And we've got a bunch of great people in it.
Absolutely.
You cast wonderfully, I might say.
Well, the choices were really, I was very honored and humbled by the ladies that showed up to audition. And then we came up with a really great cast.
Yeah.
We have, well, Carmen, you may want to say, talk a little bit about our cast.
I'm lucky I get to play a lot of the lighter parts, but Tammy Wilson is wonderful. She has a section that's she and her sisters that I find hysterical every single night she does it. Leslie Newell is great. She does everything from perky to thoughtful. Courtney Striznik has a couple of really heartfelt, and then she also has a couple of funny numbers. And tying us all together is Mary McDonald. And, Mary's been on stage for a long time, and all of them great actors.
That's right. And we have, I have the great pleasure of having one of my dear friends, Kay Shaughnessy, as assistant director. And she also helps with the stage managing of the show. So just kind of it's just an eclectic mix of very powerful women that I'm just so thrilled to have gotten to know better as well.
Yeah, there have been, whatever the show might be interesting, the rehearsals that we've had, and we said, well, that reminded me about such and such, And we had lots of things spilled at rehearsal that normally you don't hear, except if you've got a glass of wine in your hand. So it's been interesting that way. And speaking of, this will be in the Turpin.
Correct.
So it'll be a very intimate atmosphere, and we'll have some hors d'oeuvres and beverages, and it'll be a great evening as a fundraiser for the theater.
That's right. We've kind of turned this into a special event, entitling it Say Yes to the Little Black Dress. So we're encouraging our audiences to come dressed in your version of whatever little black dress means.
Which may not be a dress at all.
May not be a dress at all. And your boyfriend, loved one, friend, male counterpart, whatever the male equivalent of the little black dress is, they're encouraged to do that as well. Also, we're going to do an online auction to help raise money for the Gaslight Theater that evening, with all of those items available for viewing that night. And we've gotten some interesting ones. I mean, yeah, I think
Well, I would definitely encourage everyone to go ahead and get your tickets, because in the Turpin with tables, we can seat 40 people. So with 3 nights of 40, and I think we've already got a third of the seats sold.
That's right.
So if you are interested, I would suggest you go ahead and get online or call the theater and make reservations already.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And everyone should know, too, our friends at Park Avenue Thrift have generously offered to match all of the proceeds from this event, dollar for dollar. So it's a great night either to contribute to the auction or just donate directly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so get the most bang for your buck.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, now I'm going to put you on the spot for a second.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I won't ask you to determine your favorite little scene, but give me your top 2.
Top 2 favorite scenes. Gosh, it's so hard to pick. Of course, we have some that are the group scenes. And I would have to say of the group scenes, probably the scene called Madonna, where all of the women reminisce about their experience with what Madonna meant, you know, and their individual interpretation of her style. Yeah. So I love that. It would be hard for me to pick a favorite there's several, obviously, monologues, because all of you women play multiple characters. But there's some, I mean, just that pop to mind when Courtney Striznik does her rendition of The Adventurous Crocheter. And I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I look forward to that belly laugh consistently every night.
I like that one. I mean, I can say this one because I'm not in it. And God, as an actress, that hurts you to say that yours is not the favorite. But I love the one that Tammy Wilson and Courtney and Leslie do as sisters. Is just wonderful and funny. That one's great.
That one is great. And this is my first time to work on stage in any capacity with Tammy Wilson, but I've gone on record saying I think this is one of her best performances. She's just fantastic. So I would agree that's a great scene as well.
Yeah, because it is truly acting for Tammy, because in the beginning she's kind of a doormat. And if you know Tammy, she's not. So
yeah, she has many things, but not a doormat.
So it's acting for her to do that.
That's right.
I keep remembering you saying you have to be a little bit more timid in the beginning.
Yes, I think she's grown as an actress in that regard, with a lot of directing. But but her performance is outstanding. I'm very proud of all of the women in the show, and I just know that the audiences are going to just fall in love with it.
Oh, I think so very much. Yeah.
Do you play a character of Rosie in the show? You can probably tell us a little bit about her and what her character is based on.
One of the authors, Eileen Beckerman, who wrote the book, one of the women that was her friend and she got information from was Rosie O'Donnell. And the big monologue is, it's entitled Rosie, and it's about when her mother died and how her father handled everything and inviting the new stepmom in, and the whole clothes angle that they've never been very important to Rosie, and that they're just coverings. And so she doesn't really remember much about clothes, but there's great touching parts about her siblings and the new stepmom and her dad. I feel lucky that I got a good portion of the Rosie speeches because they're just so incredibly funny and touching and just very solid, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree with that too.
Yeah.
She's just got a humor about her, as we all know. You know, if you know anything about Rosie O'Donnell, that she's absolutely a funny lady.
Yeah.
And then we learned that she's had this really huge hardship, losing her mother at such a young age.
Yeah.
And that shines through. It's a touching moment to see the contrast between the comedic elements that you bring to her and bring to life for her, but also this other thing that's something that's followed her whole life.
And this whole play came from, Nora Ephron doing the adaptation of the play or the book by the same name. And they're all stories that Eileen Beckerman wrote of she wanted to tell her family about herself as a girl, as a young woman, that kind of those things don't exist as your siblings either get older or die, and that she wanted her family to know.
That's right. That's another favorite for me in the show.
Yeah.
Is Mary McDonald, who plays Eileen Beckerman, who's known as Gingy because of the color of her hair when she was a young lady. Is that we come to learn that she was so surprised about the reaction to her book.
Yeah.
And we get the treat of seeing the pictures that she drew. Mm-hmm. And it's very poignant about, you know, she's laid out all of her life through clothing and why those moments of wearing a particular item of clothing have just resided in her mind.
Yeah, and everything from her very first brownie outfit to what she wore when she was pregnant with all of her children, which they seem to come on forever. But yeah, and it's just wonderful, and we all have points that, you know, one particular point of our life was cool and epitomized by a particular outfit you wore, or that was your thing you always went to when you really wanted to boost yourself. So it's very indicative of how a lot of women look at their life in clothing.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's how this show has been characterized, is the 5 women dressed in chic black looking into their closet, looking into their life through the prism of their closets. I always loved that description because I think that nails what this is all about.
And sometimes it's the frustration of looking through your closet of you can't find something, or it's fallen on the floor and it needs to be ironed, or it's like, why the heck did I buy this? You know, we all have had those moments. It's like, oh, good gosh, you know.
That's right. That's right.
So we've got those two, and how we grasp certain things and go, this is us, this is me. And it's like, oh, that's not me anymore.
That's right. And we have one segment that deals with the color black. And even for me this morning, I had this exact dialogue with myself where I was like, I have nothing to wear. I have nothing to wear, but I can always go to black. That's just a solid choice every time. So those particular parts of the show they became my reality this morning.
Oh, yeah. And there's a great section on when you go to the store to buy clothes, and it's like, you know, oh my God, I'm up a size, or oh, does this match? And you want to get a friend's opinion, and yeah.
Yeah, it's a dilemma that occurs frequently. So, well, Carmen, we should probably tell these folks how to get tickets for this.
It is so easy to get tickets at Gaslight. You can go on our website, which is gaslighttheater.org, and buy them, or you can get them by calling the box office at 234-2307, and Mitch will help you out.
That's right. Well, Carmen Ball, it's been a pleasure, as always, to visit with you. I hope you all will join us for a great evening of theater and raising funds for our beloved Gaslight. So hope you can join us, and this has been Community Talk.
Patrick Farrell, and I'm a volunteer with the Cherokee Strip Regional Heritage Center. And this is Community Talk. Boy, are we fortunate today to have with us Cody Jolliffe. Cody, welcome. Cody is the educational director for the Regional Heritage Center, and he has a lot of interesting things to visit with us about. Cody, tell us what's coming up.
Yeah, well, we got a lot coming up. Of course, Christmas.
Yes.
We'll talk that. But we had a great fall. We're having a great fall, I should say. Beautiful weather's bringing lots of people out to the Heritage Center. Hopefully, folks got to come out to Farm Day, Family Farm Day, back in October. It was a great event.
I heard you had a great turnout.
Yes, we had a huge turnout. So it was a very fun event that we're able to have with a sponsor from P&K, John Deere.
Oh,
so,
yes.
it's a great event. But coming up, of course, is Christmas in the Village, and that is Friday, December 4th, and it starts at 5 o'clock in the evening. So that'll be the first Friday in December. And, it's really it's a fun evening. It's kind of becoming a tradition amongst the community, and you kind of get to step back to a simpler time.
Right, early 1900s.
Yeah.
And in fact, that's exactly a month from today.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah. So, but it's a really fun evening. The crowds are growing, but it's not too overcrowded if you come. It's not an event where you have all the hustle and bustle, but it's a lot of fun. You get to come in. We're all dressed in our clothing from turn of the century and all the historic buildings and. We started decorating today.
Did you?
Bringing over all the decorations.
You have quite a number of things to move, don't you?
Oh, yeah. We have a whole big truckload of trailer and everything.
In a secret hiding place.
That's right. Yeah, we keep it all.
Don't reveal anything.
No. Okay. So we keep all the decorations. So it takes us just about a month to do all the decorations.
Does it?
And so you get to, when you come over, for Christmas in the Village, the Glidewell home, of course, is all decorated Victorian style. The church as well, but that's where the choirs will be. Every half hour we have a different choir.
Every half hour,
yeah.
My goodness.
So there'll be choirs all evening long, and then we have crafts to do in the school and also inside the temporary gallery inside the museum. And then of course you can go over to the land office and write a postcard or write your list to Santa Claus.
I have a long list.
Oh, yeah. And or you can go over to the general store and buy some merchandise there.
Oh, yes, right. Now, the Glidewell home is, when it's decorated inside and outside, is simply spectacular.
Thank you.
And I believe the dining room is set for Christmas.
Yes. We'll bring out all the Christmas china and
well, yeah, I'll
everything.
be darned.
So it's
that'd be very interesting
festive.
for wives to see what it looked like in the early 1900s. Setting of the table.
Yeah. It's quite elaborate. So of course the Glidewells, being a banker and being a nicer home, a lot of people were still living in sod houses or dugouts or things like that. So it was quite a nice family, quite a nice home.
I think that the decoration, the lights and everything on the grounds are just outstanding. And they're visible from driving by.
Yeah.
But it's simply... The village is aglow, if you will.
It sure is. And also one of the new things we started last year is we'll have our campfire going and we'll have hot cider over the fire. And last year we roasted peanuts over the campfire.
Did you?
And had different things going on. So we're trying to incorporate a few new things each year and keep the favorites as well.
And will it be going from... one place to another on a tour kind of thing?
There'll be tours through the house just because to keep it controlled and so that you can kind of learn something there. Otherwise, it's just kind of an open house. You can kind of go throughout the whole grounds and museum and check everything out. So
now on the chorus, that choral people will be in the church.
They will. They'll be in the church, and then there'll be a small band inside the atrium.
Oh,
and,
I'll be darned. Uh-huh.
I believe that a certain man in a red suit will be there to
A
visit
man in
with
a red suit.
to visit with people too. So, you know,
He probably has some interesting things to listen to.
That's right.
And to
yeah.
say, probably.
So-
Well, that's great. Now, the choral groups will come from schools,
They will, yeah, from schools all across the Enid area. So we'll have a whole bunch of them. It's always a great time.
It is. And I love to see those children singing and how much their directors have worked on the program. It is darned outstanding.
Oh, yes, yes.
I just think so. Anyhow, I think to visually and audibly, it's a great experience.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's so much fun. You know, you could smell things, you know, the campfires going and the hot cider. And of course, we'll have all homemade desserts and things for you to sample. And yeah, it's just fun. Sights and smells.
Sights and smells, it appeals to your various senses
Yes.
that you have. But I think that's just special. I was going to touch on the brown bag
Oh,
lunch.
yeah, brown bags. Sure, brown bags. Now, for November, Veterans Day falls on the second Wednesday. So
does it?
We have moved it to Thursday, so that way you won't forget about it. It'll be Thursday. It is Professor Holiday from Northwestern Oklahoma State University, and he'll be talking about a publication that he's put out on the Oklahoma Poet Laureates. And so you can come find out about that. I think it'll be an interesting topic. And then back to our regular Wednesday in December, we'll have Dr. Sarah Jane Richner from Panhandle State University, and she'll be presenting her program on Christmas on the Prairie.
Oh, my
And,
goodness.
she has a whole program that she does about what those early Christmases were like for the pioneers out here on the prairie.
That will be very interesting,
Yeah,
I think.
I think it'll be a
because
great program.
They didn't have a lot of things to work with. I meant as far as availability of presents.
Right, right.
Today we're assaulted by television, and you have to have this and
Right,
you have to have that. But those folks that lived out there on the prairie were hardy individuals.
Oh, very much
And they
so.
had to be very creative
Yeah.
for their children to make it a special, really special occasion.
Oh, sure. You know, we try and show some of the differences throughout the village, too, of what, you know, we think of lavish Victorian Christmases, like we kind of present in the Glidewell House. And then, you know, in some of the other buildings, we try to present, you know, decorations and made out of paper and candies and popcorn and, you know, very simple things that you would have seen turn of the century.
The contrast.
Right,
Very,
right.
very interesting. Very interesting. So, this coming brown bag will be on Thursday,
Right?
and then the following one will be back to a Wednesday.
Yes, back to those second Wednesdays.
Okay.
So at noon in the church, and of course they're free of charge.
Mm-hmm.
You can come out to those events. But back to Christmas in the Village for a minute. You know, that's sponsored by Humphrey Abstract, and we also have group tours. We booked another one today. We have you get to come in if you have 15 or more people. We can do lunch for you and tours throughout the village, and you get to take home a little ornament and
Really?
do some activities. And it's a lot of fun.
I think group tours is a really good idea and a lot of fun for folks to get together and
Yeah, we have buses coming this year from Wichita area, Oklahoma City area, that, you know, bring in a bus of 50 or people at a time and come in for the tours. But we also have people right here in town who are doing it as their Christmas party. You know,
Great.
so different civic organizations or clubs, you want to come over and, you know, we'll do the cooking and cleaning, so you won't have to
You
do
can't
that.
beat that.
But we also have Christmas in the Village tours and lunches and programs, and then also open, we have that space, the temporary gallery.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, all
about
decorated, and we have several offices in town that come over and have their Christmas functions there.
Do they?
Their
Yeah.
staff parties or their client parties or whatever. So that's a great thing. And of course, you want to book those now because those dates are
Sure.
filling up fast.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. We want to just mention the Turkey Creek School.
Yes.
Is that functioning?
Yeah, we've been going strong. So we have classes just about every day with Turkey Creek School for fourth graders or Pioneer Life program for third graders. Today we had a group of third graders in from here in Enid, from Garfield Elementary, and they had a great time. They washed clothes and churned butter and filed their claims at the land office and all kinds of activities. They spend the whole day with us.
What a memorable time for those third graders.
Oh yes, it was. I talked with a group of area high school and college students, and I asked them different things about history. And out of curiosity, I asked them how many had attended in fourth grade, and about half of them had. And they could tell me all kinds of details from way back when they were in fourth grade about that day. So it really made an impact on them.
Well, obviously it does. It's quite a special memory.
Yeah.
That you're providing at the at the village. Another thing I should touch on is the museum shop is a special place to get gifts for people, for relatives or someone.
Oh, sure.
But for things from the history of the Cherokee Strip.
Yeah, a lot of people like to give a unique Christmas gift, and we have all kinds of things there at the museum store. And then during Christmas in the Village, we'll also have our general store set up where you can get kind of a historic good. One of the popular things we have is local honey that's packaged in historic jars like you would have got in the 1890s. So,
little ball kind of
well,
jar?
these are like a glass bottle almost, and they're square.
Are they?
Food used to come in a square bottle, and so it's embossed. It says honey on it and everything.
Does it?
It's pretty neat.
It is. That sounds like it's pretty neat to me, anyway. And something I think we should mention: if families are having visitors over the holidays from out of town,
Oh, sure.
this is a place they can go
Yeah.
for really a very interesting experience.
Oh, yeah. It's a great way to get out of the house. So
Well, that's a point,
Maybe
yes.
the in-laws have been there too long. So but we'll
Change of venue.
Yeah, change it up. So, but during Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays, we'll be closed on the holiday itself, but we'll be open before and after, so you can come over. And sometimes we see a lot of visitors on those days, before or after holidays. So it's a great time to come out and show them about your history.
Well, this has been a wonderful conversation we've had, I think anyway. And to remember that, to recap, the Christmas in the Village is on December 4th.
That's right.
From 5 to 8 p.m. Be there.
Yeah, be there. And if you are interested in becoming a volunteer, this is a great time. You can get in on Christmas decorating and the Christmas event. So give us a call or come by and see us.
Cody, thank you so much for your time and information.
Thank you, Patrick.
This has been Community Talk. To our viewers, thank you so much for watching.
Hi, I'm Edna Mae Holden, and I'm here today with Delane Johns for us to talk to the Enid community about some upcoming events next week. November 11th is Veterans Day, and we're here to talk specifically about 3 events that we've been working on that are going to be coming together, and they're all free events. They're all for the community and outlying communities, so we just want to share a little bit of that with you today, and hopefully you'll come out and bring your friends and family and neighbors and relatives. The first thing that I want to talk to you about is R.W. Hampton, who a lot of you know. He's been coming to Enid for 30 years, and he's a great friend of ours. And he was going to come for the Simpson movie premiere, which is Monday night in Enid.
And so we got to talking about it and thought, well, while he's here, why not do a Veterans Day concert? RW has a long family history in the military. His oldest son, Cooper, is a Marine who served several tours in Afghanistan and Iraq. And his latest album is called This Cowboy, and it has several patriotic songs that RW has written on it. Excuse me. And so I started talking to him about doing that. We talked to Emmanuel Baptist Church, and they offered the venue to us. So I kind of started planning this concert. And about that time, Elaine and I became acquainted, and she was also planning an event that is a yearly event for them, which is the Legacy Woodring Wall of Honor Legacy event, where they recognize veterans from various wars, World War II, Vietnam, or other wars. And it's a lovely event that they have every year. We decided, why have these two competing events when we could just put everything together and have one event at Emmanuel and have it open to the public? So I'm gonna turn this over to Elaine a little bit to talk about the Legacy event and the people that are going to be honored there and kind of what they're doing. She's very involved. She works at Advanced Pierre Food, but she's been very involved at the onset with the Woodring Wall of Honor. I think she has some great things to talk about. And the people that are going to be recognized this year are primarily World War II veterans. And as you all know, we're losing them at an outstanding rate. And so we want to hear their stories and we want to honor them along with all veterans. So Elaine, why don't you talk a little bit about what's going to happen during that part of the program and what you've been working on?
Well, thank you, Ms. Edna Mae. Well, what we're doing is we recognize area veterans, 5, usually one from each branch of service, once a year. And so we have a black tie banquet type event, and your venue just worked out perfectly because it's free to the public, which means more people can bring their children to get hands-on historical lessons about some of our local military careers and the men behind them. Just happened to have a book with me from one of them, has memorabilia. We find out their historical background. This particular Navy resident was on a ship that carried German prisoners of war, and he has a Purple Heart, a Medal of Honor, and even a patch from an SS Guard of some of the prisoners that he carried. Our Legacy event honors those 5 veterans. Our Army, we had actually a tie this year, which is unusual for us. But we had Roland Rickley, and also we have Cliff Morton. Now, Cliff Morton had Cliff's Camera Shop for years and years, and a lot of people don't realize that he actually was with Patton's Army. And so you're going to find out a lot of historical background behind these men. Our Navy representatives that we have are Bob Kaiser and also Watermelon Campbell, a well-known resident around the community. And then also our Marine Corps representative is Michael McCauley, who is very involved with Toys for Tots, Marine Corps League, and some of those activities, the Disabled American Veterans. He's another outstanding veteran for the United States Marine Corps. And then our Air Force veteran is from World War II. His name is Bob Greitz, and he's a Hennessy native. And he was actually a tail gunner on a B-17. So we encourage the public to come out and support these men, hear the stories that they have about their service career, and join us as we thank them for the service that they've had. Those World War II veterans, the greatest generation as they're called, have made us the fighting force that we are today. And so please join us as we thank those 5 veterans at the RW concert and also the Legacy Awards ceremony.
Well, one of the things that I'm excited about is we've got Vance Air Force Base, of course, which has a close affiliation with Enid. And everybody that I talk to at Vance always says how Enid is such a community that's warming and welcoming to them. And their Vance Color Guard is going to be there. They're honor guard that night. I think we're going to have the fire truck with the big giant flag out in front. We're going to have the Disabled American Veterans are going to have a presence there. And so there's going to be lots of things for people of all ages. And I agree with Elaine. I hope people will bring their kids and get a chance to see the real history of these folks' lives, because most of them are in their late 80s, early 90s, and the rate that they're passing away is just tremendous, and it's just such a great loss. I want to thank the people that I have people that don't even want to see me coming anymore because of the events I've done over the year, and they always think I'm going to shake them down for money, which usually is true. But I want to thank all the sponsors that are helping to put this on. But because of those folks, this is free for everyone. There's not going to be any charge for anything. Emmanuel has been great to let us use the newly renovated sanctuary, their video equipment, their sound. Everybody that I've talked to, and I think you would agree with this, Elaine, everybody that we've asked to help has just been overwhelmingly positive to get the word out. And that's why we're here, is for you to pass the word along and get other people involved. The concert is on Tuesday night, the 10th at 6:30, but there are 2 other events that are also going on. It's a busy week in Enid, so don't say there's nothing to do, because everything starts, I believe, with a motorcycle ride on Friday.
Yes.
So talk about that a little bit.
There is an annual ride that was started when we dedicated the Vietnam Wall, and it's an actual motorcycle ride that goes from patriotic site to patriotic site in northwest Oklahoma, ending up going through Ames, and Ames always goes above and beyond to welcome these veterans as they ride through, and they ride in honor of a Vietnam veteran. But this year, this is the first step in raising funds for a new Iraq-Afghanistan monument that we're looking to build at the Veterans Park. So it's a new monument, will include more than 6,000 losses. And so we're excited about that addition to the park. And this is the first fundraiser to be able to do that. So they'll ride from point to point, ending up at, starting at the Woodring Wall of Honor, and they'll start that journey to do that. Also included, we hope to break ground very soon for our educational center. We have had so many things that have been donated to the Wall of Honor, and we just have no place to put them. So we're going to build a small educational center to start out with, which will be a non-lending library, along with offices and a media lab for children, and a place for volunteers to come to be able to do docent tours and things around the park. And so we're excited about that. We should be breaking ground soon. And then on Tuesday, now the ride is Saturday.
Okay.
And on Tuesday, we're very, very privileged to have our own hometown Lieutenant Governor Todd Lamb to be our keynote for the actual Veterans Day ceremonies that we hold annually.
Now that's on Wednesday, I think.
That is Wednesday.
Okay, that's
yes.
actually on Veterans Day.
On Veterans Day at the airport, should be, unless of inclement weather, at the site of the Vietnam Memorial Wall.
Okay, and it's at 10 o'clock on Wednesday on Veterans Day.
That is
Todd
correct.
Lamb will be there. Lieutenant Governor Lamb. RW is going to sing a couple of songs
Yes,
there. I
he
believe you
is.
have the Taft.
Elementary choir that's going to be singing, Mrs. Shanks Elementary Choir. We're excited about
Okay.
that.
If the weather's bad, where will that event be held?
In the event of inclement weather, that event will move to the hangar that is a multi-purpose hangar there on the field. It's very close to the park.
Okay.
There'll be lots of parking for handicap accessible areas, so we have multiple parking areas for them. And it'll just be a great event all around to not only have people be able to come out and share the Vietnam Wall, share their stories about service in Vietnam. There'll be school children that'll be excused to be able to come out and attend those events.
Good.
We have a Wacomas trumpeter that'll be coming out and sharing taps. We're excited about involving all those school-age people. The more school-age children we get out to the park, the more hands-on education they can learn.
And this is the 40th year.
This is the 40th year celebrating the fall of Saigon,
Okay.
the end of the Vietnam War.
Okay, and I knew that you had that on your poster
Yes.
with the Lieutenant Governor Lamb. And like I said earlier, Vance Air Force Base is very involved in this, and we've been trying to get the word out to nursing homes, to assisted living centers, even to the outlying communities for people to bring buses of people. And I hope that the problem we're going to have at Emmanuel is it's going to be too crowded for the sanctuary and it's going to go into overflow.
Amen.
But they are just really, they're doing a lot to help us with that. So starting with the very first event, of course, this is First Friday in Enid, so there's something to do Friday night everywhere downtown.
That's
I think
true.
we're supposed to have good weather if we get through this rain that's supposed to happen today. And then the ride is on Saturday, and then the concert, the RW concert and the Legacy Awards ceremony is Tuesday night at Emmanuel beginning at 6:30, open to the public and free. And then the Woodring Wall of Honor program and the actual Veterans Day program is on Veterans Day out at Woodring Airport here in Enid. And if you haven't been out there to see what they have already done, it's a wonderful thing to see. I hadn't been out there in quite a long time, and the wall is fabulous and it's very moving. And David Henneke and you and lots of folks have worked a long time to really bring that to fruition. And so I think the education center and the things that you're going to do to keep this alive are just really going to be great things.
It
And
is
so-
exciting, and we're also very pleased to have several great presenters for the RW concert and for the Legacy Awards ceremony. We have our own city manager, Gerald Gilbert, who'll be presenting the Army Awards. We also have Doug France, former United States Marine Corps, that will present the Marine Corps Award. We have Craig Vance, who is an Enid native, and he will present the Navy Awards. And then we have our own Colonel Quinn from Vance Air Force Base, who will be presenting our Air Force Awards. So we're very, very pleased. We do have a Lifetime Achievement Award that we'll be presenting, and that recipient will be at the ceremony. And we will not reveal that information until that night.
That'll be a great and a wonderful surprise. And I want to thank the sponsors that I mentioned earlier. I'm an attorney with the Gungle Jackson Box and Duvall Law Firm, and I usually spend more time doing this sort of thing than I do practicing law, much to their chagrin. But they're very generous about supporting these kinds of events. National Bank of Commerce, Security National Bank, the Mybergens, the Wards, the Dillinghams, Dr. Mike Ogle, Chisholm Trail Farm Credit. Everybody that I talked to was really on board for this, and I think it's because they appreciate the military, they appreciate veterans, they appreciate the people that put on the uniform. At the end of this segment, you're going to see the contact information for me. If you have any questions about the R.W. Hampton concert part of it, you're going to see contact information for Elaine. If you have veteran information that you want to get to her or more questions about the actual Legacy Awards part of this, this is the first time we're kind of combining these things, and we think it's going to work great. We think it's a perfect fit. And also there will be contact information for the Ride to Remember, and that contact is Sherry Pitts at Cycle Ward. But that's going to be on the screen, so if you want to get in touch with any of us about any of these events, please do. We're looking forward so much to them, and get the word out and you guys come out and see it. Do you have anything else, Elaine, that you want to add? Or?
I don't think so. I think we've pretty much covered it.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We appreciate it.